Some movies push boundaries, shock, or spark so much controversy that audiences just can't take it. Today we're counting down the top 30 movies that made audiences walk out. From jaw-dropping scenes to bold storytelling that crossed the line, these films left a lasting impression on those who stuck around anyway. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let's dive into the most unforgettable cinematic walkouts. 30. The Exorcist, 1973. When The Exorcist hit theaters in 1973, it was more than just a movie. It was an experience that left audiences shaken to their core. Around the world, viewers cried, fainted, screamed, and even ran out of theaters in sheer panic. Director William Friedkin's satanic masterpiece was not just scary. Some even called it pure evil. Was it the groundbreaking special effects, the haunting score, or the chilling cinematography that made it unforgettable? Maybe it was the deep dive into occult themes and unsettling religious allegories that left people questioning their own beliefs. Whatever the reason, The Exorcist did not just scare audiences, it terrified them. Decades later, it remains a stunning example of the raw, visceral power of cinema. 29. A Serbian Film, 2010. A Serbian film is a horror movie that goes to extremes most films would never dare to explore. The plot centers around an aging adult film star, Miloš, who's offered a role in an art house film. But what starts off as an interesting project quickly turns into a nightmare when he discovers the film's disturbing content: drugs, abuse, and horrific violations. The shocking imagery in the movie was so intense that it was banned in several countries, and some critics even called it the most disturbing film ever made. The director defended it as a political allegory, but for most viewers, it's a hard film to shake off. It leaves an unsettling feeling, something that stays with you long after you've seen it. It's not just a movie. It's an experience that forces you to confront the darkest parts of cinema. 28. Pink Flamingos, 1972. John Waters' Pink Flamingos is a wild ride that refuses to play it safe. As the first film in his trash trilogy, it proudly embraces its tagline, an exercise in poor taste, and pushes every boundary imaginable. The story follows Divine, a drag queen who proudly holds the title of the filthiest person alive. From start to finish, the movie is packed with outrageous scenes that shock and challenge viewers at every turn. It has everything from nudity and profanity to moments so over the top they will leave you speechless. But what truly stands out is the film's infamous ending. If you make it that far, you will witness something so bizarre it is hard to believe it is even real. Love it or hate it, Pink Flamingos is a movie you will never forget. 27. Crimes of the Future, 2022. David Cronenberg's Crimes of the Future definitely made waves when it premiered at Cannes. Some people walked out in disgust, while others stayed and gave it a 7-minute standing ovation. It's set in a future where human biology has taken a bizarre turn, and let's just say that it's not for the faint of heart. The story follows Saul Tenser, a performance artist who has the freakish ability to grow new organs. Instead of hiding it, he and his partner Caprice turn it into a show, performing live surgeries to remove and display these organs. If that doesn't sound wild enough, things take an even weirder turn when Saul's condition starts to, let's say, intrigue certain people in unsettling ways. The movie dives into dark themes about cosmetic surgery and human evolution, making it one of those films that's as thought-provoking as it is hard to stomach. 26. Raw, 2016. The French-Belgian horror film Raw is not for the faint of heart. Known for its unsettling realism and disturbing portrayal of cannibalism, it tells the story of a vegetarian college student whose life takes a horrifying turn. After being hazed into eating raw rabbit meat, she begins spiraling into madness, developing a shocking appetite for violence and even human flesh. The film's graphic and unflinching scenes were so intense that they reportedly caused audience members to faint, get sick, or even flee the theater in sheer panic. It's safe to say that Raw achieved its goal of being a deeply unsettling and unforgettable piece of horror. 25. Freaks, 1932. Freaks, the 1932 cult classic, pushed boundaries like few films of its time. Featuring real circus performers with physical deformities, it was bold, unsettling, and way ahead of its era. The original cut was a hefty 90 minutes, but the studio found it too shocking to release as is. And if you are hoping to see what was left on the cutting room floor, bad news. That footage is long gone. Even with the edits, audiences back in the day could not handle it. The story of betrayal and revenge was so disturbing that it caused walkouts, bans, and a whole lot of controversy. It may not seem as extreme now, but in 1932, Freaks was a film that truly shook the world. 24. The Neon Demon, 2016. A 16-year-old aspiring fashion model moves to LA, chasing her dreams of stardom, only to find herself drawn into a dark and twisted world of exploitation, jealousy, and murder. Directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, this bold satire of the fashion industry pushed boundaries, blending social commentary with supernatural horror. When the film premiered at Cannes, it sparked polarizing reactions, with boos, walkouts, and even angry outbursts from the audience. Critics were divided. Some praised its audacious visuals and biting critique, while others felt its attempt to merge themes fell flat. Love it or hate it, this provocative film left a lasting impression, challenging viewers in ways they may not have anticipated. 23. The Brown Bunny, 2003. Directed by and starring Vincent Gallo, The Brown Bunny sparked controversy and polarized audiences when it premiered at Cannes. The film follows a lonely motorcycle racer on a cross-country journey, but it wasn't the plot that grabbed attention. It was a graphic, unsimulated scene between Gallo and Chloe Sevigny that caused an uproar. Critics were not kind. Roger Ebert famously called it the worst film ever shown at Cannes, igniting a public feud with Gallo, who fired back with colorful insults. Despite the backlash, Gallo released a re-edited version of the film that even earned grudging praise from Ebert, who revised his opinion. Over time, The Brown Bunny has developed a small but dedicated cult following, proving that even the most divisive films can find their audience. 22. Swiss Army Man, 2016. The response to Swiss Army Man at the 2016 Sundance Film Festival was a roller coaster. Initially, the screenings were so packed that many hopeful viewers were turned away. However, once the movie started, the enthusiasm quickly shifted. A surrealist comedy starring Daniel Radcliffe as a flatulent corpse proved too bizarre for some, leading many audience members to walk out mid-screening. While the film's unusual premise divided viewers, critics praised its originality and emotional depth, with some hailing it as a bold, inventive piece of filmmaking. For those who stayed, it was an unexpected journey, but for others, the concept of a farting corpse was simply a bridge too far. 21. Saving Private Ryan, 1998. Saving Private Ryan is widely regarded as one of the greatest war films ever made, thanks to its unflinching portrayal of World War II's brutal realities. The opening sequence, depicting the D-Day landing on Omaha Beach, was so graphic and intense that it left some audience members, particularly veterans, unable to continue watching. The harrowing realism triggered visceral reactions, with reports of viewers walking out in distress and even PTSD hotlines being overwhelmed after the film's release. Unlike many war movies that prioritize cinematic spectacle, Saving Private Ryan stripped away romanticized notions of battle, focusing instead on the raw, unvarnished horrors of war. This commitment to authenticity is precisely what cemented its legacy, though it came at the cost of deeply affecting those who lived through similar experiences. 20. Caligula, 1979. Do the words erotic historical drama get you excited? No? Unfortunately for this film, its strange concept was not the only thing it had working against it. Despite featuring performances from Malcolm McDowell, Helen Mirren, and Peter O'Toole, a part for which he was praised, the film was heavily criticized for its violence and featuring unsimulated sex throughout. The film was financed by Penthouse founder Bob Guccione, who added explicit pornographic scenes to the film, which contributed to its notorious reputation. The graphic depiction of Roman decadence, sexual depravity, and brutality was overwhelming for many viewers. If you're wondering who specifically walked out of this one, the answer is Roger Ebert himself, who described the film as sickening, utterly worthless, shameful trash. Although considered a cult classic by some, the film is still divisive to this day. 19. Fight Club, 1999. If Fight Club is anything, it's provocative. It bizarrely manages to strike a balance between pavement-level grounded and borderline absurd, all while deftly telling the story of a man who's been pushed over the edge of societal norms to break with reality. A movie like that is pretty weird, and needless to say, not everyone got it. The film's anti-consumerist themes, raw animalistic violence, and dark humor were unsettling for some viewers. The notorious scene of soap made from human fat particularly stood out as grotesque and disturbing. As if it wasn't bizarre enough, these scenes of raw animalistic violence were enough to push people over the edge. Fight Club's awesome. It's just not for everyone. Its initial reception was polarizing, though it has since become a cult classic. 17. A Clockwork Orange, 1971. Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange pushed the boundaries of cinema when it hit theaters, based on Anthony Burgess's novel. With its unsettling dystopian world, filled with disturbing scenes of violence, rape, and psychological manipulation, it shocked audiences and caused numerous walkouts. The film's raw and graphic nature led to it being banned in several countries. At its core, the story explores the terrifying combination of free will and state control, with a sociopathic protagonist challenging moral and ethical boundaries. While praised for its artistry and thought-provoking themes, A Clockwork Orange remains a film that continues to spark intense debate, with some condemning it for its extreme content. 16. The Blair Witch Project, 1999. The Blair Witch Project was a game-changer when it hit theaters, with its found footage style and a raw, unsettling sense of realism. Directed by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez, the shaky camera work and creeping suspense made some viewers so uncomfortable that they couldn't stick it out and walked out of the theater. The film's marketing campaign, which played up the idea that the events were real, only cranked up the anxiety. Rather than relying on gore, it built tension through atmosphere and psychological terror. For some, that approach was too much to handle, and they ended up leaving halfway through, unable to deal with the intensity. 15. Blue Velvet, 1986. David Lynch's surreal and disturbing thriller features scenes of sexual violence and bizarre imagery. The film's unsettling atmosphere and explicit content caused many viewers to leave the theater, unable to cope with the intense experience. Lynch's exploration of the dark underbelly of suburban America, juxtaposed with its seemingly idyllic exterior, created a jarring and uncomfortable viewing experience. Despite the walkouts, Blue Velvet has since become a cult classic and is praised for its bold and unflinching storytelling. The film's controversial scenes, including those involving Dennis Hopper's sadistic character, remain shocking even today. 14. Mother, 2017. Darren Aronofsky's Mother. Starring Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem, is a psychological horror film that garnered attention for its disturbing and allegorical content. The movie's intense violence, unsettling themes, and chaotic narrative created a polarizing experience, leading some viewers to walk out in disgust. The film's intricate allegory, tackling themes of creation, destruction, and environmental degradation, was bewildering for many, with its relentless intensity leaving some feeling overwhelmed. Aronofsky's bold and controversial vision, paired with its visceral execution, made Mother one of the most divisive films of the decade. The resulting heated debates between critics and audiences only added to the film's notoriety, cementing its place as one of the most provocative cinematic experiences in recent memory. 13. Antichrist, 2009. Lars von Trier's Antichrist is a deeply controversial horror film known for its graphic violence, explicit sexual content, and exploration of disturbing themes. The film's intense scenes, including extreme depictions of psychological trauma, grief, and sexual violence, led to walkouts at various film festivals and screenings, with many viewers finding it too overwhelming to endure. The visceral imagery and brutal exploration of human suffering pushed the boundaries of what is typically considered acceptable in cinema, causing both fascination and revulsion. Antichrist remains one of von Trier's most provocative and divisive works, sparking heated debates and strong reactions from both audiences and critics. Its unapologetic approach to disturbing content continues to challenge and unsettle viewers, solidifying its place in the realm of extreme cinema. 12. Irreversible, 2002. Directed by Gaspar Noé, Irreversible is a French psychological thriller that gained notoriety for its unflinching portrayal of sexual violence. The film's non-linear narrative, which unfolds in reverse chronological order alongside a harrowing and graphic rape scene, led to intense walkouts and strong reactions from many viewers. The sheer brutality of the violence, coupled with the film's disorienting structure, left some audience members feeling deeply disturbed. Despite the visceral impact and controversy, Irreversible has been praised for its bold storytelling and innovative approach to narrative. It remains a powerful, unsettling exploration of the devastating consequences of violence, and while it is difficult to watch, it has earned recognition for its artistry in pushing the boundaries of filmmaking. The film's lasting impact serves as a reminder of its ability to provoke thought and challenge viewers to confront uncomfortable realities. 11. The House That Jack Built, 2018. Another film by Lars von Trier, this psychological horror film follows a serial killer's gruesome exploits. The graphic violence and disturbing content were too much for some viewers, leading to walkouts and controversy at its Cannes Film Festival premiere. The film's exploration of the mind of a psychopath, coupled with its graphic depictions of murder and violence, was overwhelming for many. Critics and audiences were sharply divided on the film's artistic merits and moral implications, with some lauding it as a bold artistic statement and others condemning it as gratuitous and exploitative. 10. The Passion of the Christ, 2004. Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ became infamous for its brutal and graphic portrayal of the last 12 hours of Jesus Christ's life. The film's unflinching depiction of torture, beatings, and crucifixion pushed the boundaries of what audiences typically expected from a religious drama, leaving some viewers unable to stomach the intensity. As a result, a number of theatergoers walked out, overwhelmed by the relentless violence on screen. Despite the walkouts, the film was a commercial success, sparking widespread debate. Some praised its raw realism, feeling it portrayed the suffering and sacrifice of Christ in a powerful and deeply moving way. Others, however, criticized it for its excessive violence, questioning whether such graphic depictions were necessary. The Passion of the Christ continues to provoke conversation and remains one of the most polarizing films in modern cinematic history. 9. The Human Centipede, First Sequence, 2009. Tom Six's The Human Centipede gained infamy for its shocking and grotesque premise. A deranged doctor surgically joins 3 people to form a human centipede. The film quickly became a symbol of horror for its explicit and disturbing content, pushing the boundaries of what audiences were prepared to see. With its unnervingly graphic scenes, especially the surgical procedures, The Human Centipede sparked strong reactions, including walkouts from many viewers unable to stomach its gruesome imagery. The film's shock value overshadowed its artistic merit, and it became a notorious conversation piece, often remembered for its ability to disturb rather than for any deeper cinematic achievement. Despite the backlash, it sparked sequels and remains a highly controversial yet talked-about entry in the genre of horror. 8. Salo, or The 120 Days of Sodom, 1975. Pier Paolo Pasolini's adaptation of the Marquis de Sade's 120 Days of Sodom remains one of the most polarizing films in cinematic history. Salo, or The 120 Days of Sodom, shocked audiences upon its release with its relentless depiction of violence, sexual abuse, and sadistic cruelty. Set against the backdrop of fascist Italy, the film delves into humanity's darkest impulses, presenting them with an unflinching, almost clinical gaze. The graphic and unrelenting nature of Salo led to widespread outrage, walkouts, and even bans in several countries. Many viewers found the film's stark exploration of power, corruption, and dehumanization too harrowing to endure. Decades later, Salo continues to provoke fierce debates about its artistic merits and moral boundaries, solidifying its reputation as a profoundly disturbing yet thought-provoking piece of cinema. 7. Cannibal Holocaust, 1980. Ruggero Deodato's exploitation horror film is infamous for its graphic violence, including real animal killings and staged scenes of cannibalism. The movie's shocking content led to walkouts and controversy, with some countries even banning the film. The film's depiction of indigenous tribes and its brutal violence were seen as exploitative and unethical, sparking debates about the responsibilities of filmmakers. Cannibal Holocaust remains a touchstone in the history of controversial and banned films, known for its shocking content and the ethical questions it raises. 6. Joker, Folie à Deux, 2024. Sequels are always tricky, and trying to live up to a hit like Joker was bound to be a challenge. But Folie à Deux didn't just miss the mark for some. It stirred up a storm of backlash. A lot of people walked into the theater expecting more of the gritty and dark drama that made the first movie such a success. Instead, they got a musical. Yes, a musical. And for many, that was a hard pill to swallow. Even people who enjoy musicals felt let down, saying the numbers didn't quite fit, and felt out of place with the raw and intense vibe of the original. On top of that, the film's attempt to shake up and deconstruct comic book tropes, something Joker fans loved the first time around, just didn't land the same way. It felt like too much, too fast, and for a lot of people, it simply didn't work. Instead of being the bold follow-up they hoped for, Folie à Deux ended up feeling like a step in the wrong direction. 5. 127 Hours, 2010. 127 Hours tells the gripping true story of Aron Ralston, a canyoneer who faced a life-or-death struggle after becoming trapped by a massive boulder in an isolated canyon. Directed by Oscar winner Danny Boyle, the film stars James Franco as Ralston, delivering a performance that takes viewers deep into the raw intensity of his ordeal. The climax of the movie, a brutal and unflinching depiction of Ralston amputating his own arm to escape, left audiences shaken. The graphic nature of the scene caused widespread reports of fainting, vomiting, and sheer panic in theaters. While reactions like these are more commonly associated with horror movies, they were unexpected in a film celebrated as a triumphant true story. Boyle's masterful direction turned Ralston's harrowing experience into a visceral and unforgettable cinematic journey. 4. Cloverfield, 2008. There are plenty of reasons why people walk out of movies, and not all of them are tied to a film's content. Take Cloverfield, for example, a fresh take on classic monster movies with a modern twist, the found footage format. When the film hit theaters in 2008, audiences were drawn in by its unique style and gripping storyline. But despite enjoying the action and suspense, many viewers didn't stick around to see the full destruction unfold. Why? The chaotic, shaky camera work integral to the found footage genre left numerous moviegoers feeling physically ill and nauseous, making Cloverfield a challenge to stomach for many viewers. 3. Blue is the Warmest Color, 2013. This coming-of-age love story didn't just spark walkouts, it ignited scandals and heated debates. Based on a graphic novel, the film follows Adele, a reserved high schooler, as she navigates a passionate yet tumultuous relationship with Emma, an ambitious painter. Their romance unfolds with intensity, capturing both tender highs and painful lows. However, the film's explicit, intimate scenes quickly became a lightning rod for controversy. Many lesbian viewers found them laughably unrealistic, dismissing them as over-the-top and disconnected from genuine experiences. Jules Moreau, the graphic novel's author, publicly criticized the portrayal, describing the scenes as brutal and cold. Despite the backlash, the movie claimed the prestigious Palme d'Or and earned a devoted fan base. Yet, its legacy remains divisive, with the controversies surrounding its depiction of love and intimacy still fueling discussion. 2. Crash, 1996. This is the provocative Canadian film by David Cronenberg that sparked outrage and walkouts. The story centers on a couple in an open marriage who find excitement in sharing their extramarital experiences. Things take a shocking turn when the husband, James, begins an affair with Helen, a car crash survivor, and develops an unsettling fetish for car wrecks. Audiences were stunned, and many stormed out of theaters during its initial run. The explicit and graphic sex scenes were undeniably part of the backlash, but Cronenberg's detached, almost clinical approach to such taboo subjects likely pushed viewers even further. It's a film that leaves a lasting impression, but whether it intrigues or repels is entirely up to the viewer. 1. Pulp Fiction, 1994. Quentin Tarantino's signature style of blending graphic violence with sharp dialogue is widely celebrated today, but in the early 90s, it was far from universally accepted. His early films, Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, sparked intense reactions that showcased just how polarizing his approach could be. In a 2017 interview with The Guardian, Tarantino admitted to counting the walkouts during Reservoir Dogs' festival screenings as audiences struggled with its raw and unrelenting brutality. Similarly, Pulp Fiction, though critically acclaimed, prompted its share of theater exits from viewers unprepared for Tarantino's unique storytelling and graphic content. Even its Palme d'Or win at the 1994 Cannes Film Festival wasn't without controversy, as some attendees booed, believing the honor was undeserved. Tarantino's work may be iconic now, but it initially faced fierce resistance that only fueled its lasting impact. Which of these movies shocked you the most? Or have you ever walked out of a movie yourself? Share your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more bold and fascinating content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. People's faces. Beyond the spectacle, Kim's story is also one of self-acceptance and celebrating individuality. By showcasing her unique ability, she reminds us all that what sets us apart can be a source of joy and fascination, proving that the extraordinary often lies in the unexpected. 1. Tom Staniford, zero body fat. Tom Staniford is a British paracyclist whose unique condition makes him truly extraordinary. Born with a rare genetic disorder known as MDP syndrome, mandibular dysplasia with deafness and progeroid features, Tom's body is unable to store any subcutaneous fat. This leaves him with a strikingly lean appearance and a body fat percentage that is effectively zero. Despite the challenges associated with his condition, including hearing loss and joint discomfort, Tom has never let these obstacles define him. Tom's passion for cycling began at a young age, and he quickly channeled his energy into the sport, rising to become a Paralympic athlete. His dedication and perseverance have earned him numerous accolades in paracycling competitions, where he inspires teammates and competitors alike with his relentless drive and positive outlook. Beyond his athletic career, Tom is a vocal advocate for body positivity and raising awareness about rare genetic conditions. He shares his story to educate and inspire others, emphasizing that strength comes in many forms. Whether on the bike or off, Tom Staniford exemplifies resilience, proving that determination can triumph over adversity and redefine what's possible. Which one surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss more exciting content. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. 2016. This 2016. French film makes a bold and unflinching statement by diving deep into the complexities of human connection and intimacy. The first 18 minutes are raw and real, showcasing unsimulated scenes between two gay men as they meet for the first time in an adult club. From this intense and vulnerable beginning, the film shifts to a more introspective journey, with the two men cycling and walking around northeast Paris, getting to know each other in a way that feels authentic and unfiltered. Throughout their time together, the film explores themes of loneliness, desire, and the search for deeper understanding, with each passing moment allowing the characters to open up and connect on a more personal level. The film doesn't shy away from the complexities of relationships, both physical and emotional, offering viewers a candid portrayal of what it means to truly see another person. It's a thought-provoking journey that emphasizes the importance of human connection, challenging societal expectations while highlighting the beauty and vulnerability of intimacy. 1. The Idiots, 1998. Lars von Trier has a reputation for pushing the limits of what's considered acceptable in cinema, and The Idiots is no exception. The film follows a group of adults who decide to break free from societal norms and embrace their inner idiots by living together in a suburban home. For them, this means throwing out the rulebook on everything from social behavior to relationships. Unsurprisingly, their rejection of societal expectations leads to explicit scenes of wife-swapping and group intimacy. What really sets The Idiots apart, though, is the fact that many of these intimate moments are unsimulated. giving the film a raw, unfiltered energy. The scenes are as much about the characters' quest for freedom as they are about challenging conventional ideas of art and performance. While the film has sparked a fair share of controversy, it's also a thought-provoking exploration of human behavior and the boundaries of artistic expression. Whether you love it or hate it, the idiots definitely don't shy away from the uncomfortable. It's a bold, uncompromising work that asks tough questions about how far we're willing to go to find true freedom. What did you think of these shocking scenes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.